Hi, my name is Mike. Welcome to the channel. HB Industries has started to drop upgrade components for your Springfield Kuna, starting with the short stroke buffer, making your Kuna shoot even better and mitigate the round being able to fall into the lower control group. Check it out with me and let me know what you think. 121.
Oh, that's a much tighter.
But the grouping was a lot better, so the gun wasn't bouncing around. Evidence is right here. It is clearly doing something.
In the Kuna short stroke buffer kit. The original one in here is like a very thin rubbery plastic guy, and the HBI one is a much thicker rubber guy, almost no plastic feel to it. 26, 47 is the original one here. Just push this guy down, slide this guy off. Then you're left with the rod, the original spring. Here's the OEM spring. Here's the HB Industry spring. Let me see if I can feel the difference. The spring is stiffer. Slide the new one over and use the original retainer. HBI here, made in the USA. Quite a substantial difference. Okay, fully stock buffer system, Springfield Kuna.
Yeah, you got it. They might be.
Short stroke buffer system. Okay, you're not going to see a lot here, even at 240 frames per second. So let's go frame by frame. As you can see here, I even gave the OEM Kuna buffer a head start, and the HBI short stroke is already beating it back to battery. Again, one more time, frame by frame. Head start up on top. Magic is happening behind the scenes there. And you already see the HBI showing up here. HBI is dropping into battery as the above one catches up about 3 frames behind. It may not seem like a lot, but that's a big deal in a time frame this small. Before we put that in, this guy, this bolt would go way back here, creating a big space for that additional round to go down below into the lower control unit. Now, but this guy is almost flush, just a little bit behind that opening. Let's see if there's over travel. Nope, that's it. So my first impressions are, my spring's a little tighter and a shorter throw. My friend Andrew has never spent any time with this gun, so a perfect opportunity to get a true first impression. Same ammo, same everything, short stroke buffer.
Noticeable or not?
Very, very slight. It doesn't sound stock. It's kind of how I compare a regular buffer spring to the Geisley Super 42. If you know, you know. It doesn't sound like a spring. It felt better. It felt more compact. It's tough to explain, but it felt better.
We thought the best way to test this would be to do build drills with both the original buffer and the short stroke buffer from HBI.
Kuna spring, 6 shots to the A zone.
$157.
157.
Yep. 168.
168.
Still the stock spring. Finger freeze. 145.
Nice.
Try again.
Ooh, that was a good one.
129. We don't do the other zones around here.
A zone's the best zone.
6 shots to the A zone, short stroke buffer.
Here we go. Pretty evident in that last little sequence how much more trigger time you have than I do. with this one. All right, going out. Ooh, that felt a lot better. Still the same time though. We'll do that one more time. I cheated a little bit, so I got 135.
Side note, this savage is left-handed, so he was doing this drill with his offhand. Legend.
Did you notice the difference between the feel?
I felt like my follow-up shots were a lot faster, but take a look at that. I had one that was low. I think that was the first shot overall.
Oh, that's a much tighter dip.
But the grouping was a lot better, so the gun wasn't bouncing around. So the evidence is right here that this short stroke system is better.
It's doing something.
It is clearly doing something.
Do you think it's just because you've had a couple more rounds on the gun, or do you think it has to do with the...
I mean, maybe, but I still only have maybe a magazine on this, so that shouldn't be like a ton of trigger time. The gun isn't bouncing around, the bolt is back there really quickly. And I mean, that last one, even though I cheated a little bit on the first shot, it was still a quarter of a second faster, and that's a big difference. When you go from 167 to 135, I mean, that's a big difference.
The short stroke buffer sticks in the A zone is the goal. Got my timer here. I'm gonna stand by on myself. Oh, this... Fuck myself. Stand by.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's at a longer person distance.
121. So, wow, 125. It's just faster. Let's go see what we got here. On safe, dropping that mag. Oh, snag.
That was mine on the left.
I ran faster but sloppier, or about the same time actually, I don't know. What was your number? Do you remember?
The last one was 135, the first one was 167.
Okay, I was running on 125 was my best time, so a little sloppier.
A little spread out.
That was my first one I threw out. I don't know how much I noticed it on the 1 or 2 shots, but I want to start stacking 3 or 4 shots together. There's a very subtle difference to the way it feels. With before on the stock spring, I would move my trigger finger as fast as I could and try to hang on to the gun to keep it in the A zone. This one, it feels like my trigger finger is the slow point and the gun is waiting for me to catch up to it versus the other way around. That makes sense?
Sure does.
Just a heads up, HB Industries is dropping a lot of things. You've probably already seen the short stroke buffer, which is the main fix for this gun. A few people complained about the safety. They resolved that. While they're at it, they give you another option for a trigger pad. And they also have 3 different stocks that I'm aware of that are coming out that are custom made to lock right on the back of the Springfield Kuna, keep the weapon as compact as possible. They're going to continue to send me those parts and pieces, and I will make videos as soon as I get my hands on them. See you guys back for that. I was able to chat with the engineers over at HB Industries. They said the primary purpose of the buffer spring is to keep the casing from going into the lower control unit. Cool sidebar about the spring in there. Our spring was carefully designed to bring the bolt back into battery in sync with the recoil impulse on the shooter's shoulder. We tested several combos, rates, springs, and designs, and this final one was the one that worked best across a large number of users. We also used the high rate spring to make sure that there's enough energy stored in the bolt to strip away and feed the next round reliably. And I will say that too, the Kuna is still 100% reliable with this new buffer in it. Since the bolt doesn't travel as far to the rear with our buffer installed, we need to store the same energy and less distance than the factory spring. So that makes sense, and that's pretty straightforward, but it's pretty cool to find out. They tested their spring with a bunch of different users, and to use the impulse of the weapon for the timing, that matches up with our experience out at the range. Now we can go back to the range for me and Andrew's closing thoughts. Be sure and check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link below.
So I don't know if it's less recoil, but it feels like there's a difference in timing.
It's a better product than stock. Stock is always going to be, you know, everybody thinks mil spec is great, but it's actually the cheapest stuff possible that works. And if you've shot enough, you know a stock product first versus a slightly upgraded product. So like I said, I use the Geisley Super 42 buffer springs, and when I go back to something stock, like a stock spring, you can hear the springiness and you can feel the difference.
It's like one of those things where you have to be there. Like, you have to feel it to really appreciate the difference.
Kind of like sex.
yeah, I guess so. I guess we can end on that.
This video is sponsored by evokestudio.io. We can pretty much do everything and anything between video and photo. What does that mean? Well, we can do broadcast television, we can do your vertical video content, all your headshots for your office, and coming out of the commercial side, we are premier photographers and videographers for any of your shooting and firearm events, family portraits, and we're actually nationally known for our photos and videos in the wedding industry. So check out that website below, hit that contact form to get a hold of us, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. My name is Mike. Thanks for stopping by the channel. We'll see you soon.